Last time we chatted, we began talking about a vibrational environment and kind of fleshing that out. And I'd like to take a vibration into that, or take that environment and flesh out the whole notion of the vibration of intimacy, how that fits within Source's view of the relationship with us, and how it fits into our relationships among each other and between each other.
You know what he's talking about the vibrational climate? These words are relatively new to the conversation. But for a while, we've been explaining to you that you are vibrational beings who are, without even knowing it, often launching these rockets of desire, which are becoming a vibrational reality, even though you may not know it, because they haven't manifested. But everything that manifests is vibrational first. And so when there is something that you have been wanting, it exists in a vibrational realm. We referred to that realm as different things through the years. We began calling it a vibrational vortex. We've called it a vibrational state of being. We've called it vibrational content. We've called it the rocket of desire. We began calling it the vortex of creation. So there is this vibrational version of things that will later manifest. And now we're talking about how you can be consciously aware that there is a vibrational version and be happy about the fact that the vibrational version exists, rather than unhappy about the fact that the manifested version doesn't yet exist. In other words, happy about your feeling of prosperity, even though the money's not in the bank yet. You follow? So the big question for our human friends is, all right, Abraham, so I will accept, I'll play your silly game that there is a vortex of creation, that there's a vortex, and that everything I want is in there. I'll play that game. But I want it to come out where I am, or I want to go in where it is. I don't just want vibrational versions. I want to spend the money. I want to be with my lover. I want the full-on physical human, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it experience of my desires. So we began explaining that vibration is translated by you, that the reason that you do see what you see is because you're translating vibration. It's hard for you to hear because you're doing it at an unconscious level. You don't wake up and not see and then tune yourself into seeing. You are seeing, and so you're not understanding the vibrational process that is taking place. When you smell something, it's a vibrational interpretation. So we're now wanting you to begin to understand more fully that you are the creator of a vibrational environment or climate. It surrounds you. And it surrounds you because of the things that you are observing, although we would like you to do less and less of that. It surrounds you because of the things that you think, which means it surrounds you because of what you believe, because your beliefs are just thoughts you keep thinking. So it surrounds you because of your vibrational frequency. It surrounds you because of your perspective. It surrounds you because of your awareness. It surrounds you because of your perception. It is your perception because you perceive. Now we know we're twirling around in these words, but we're wanting to help you to catch hold of the understanding that you are translators of vibration or energy, and that's why you have the tactile experience that you have. So it is not as far out as some people think it is, or as Esther likes to say, some think beep it is. After she's had tea martinis. It's not as difficult as some people think that it is to get a conscious grasp on the understanding that you are thinking things into being, that thoughts create things, that you are the creator of your own reality, because that is the way that it works. So We're trying to awaken within you your realization that you are perceivers and that your perception is about your vibration. And now we want you to understand that your perception is about your chosen vibration, that you can choose to offer a vibration. But it takes some practice, and that's this vibrational climate that our friend is talking about. It's for a while we called it a grid because it's where you stand, and it will fill in later with all of the details of life that you love. But the grid sounded a little too rigid. And this climate is something that is fluid and moldable and movable and creatable by you. It's the atmosphere that you've created. And the best way to describe your atmosphere, if you want an easy way to describe it, is your mood. Your mood describes your atmosphere. Once you've accomplished a mood that is in vibrational alignment with what's in your vortex, with your source, with your inner being, with that which is us. Once you've created or accomplished, might even be a better way for you to hear it, this vibrational attitude or atmosphere or climate or mood. Now, since there's no variance or very little variance between the frequency of what you've been asking for and the frequency of who you have really become, what you've expanded to, what you've evolved to, and what you're doing right here, right now, in this powerful, red-hot minute where all of your power is. Once there's no or very little vibrational variance between that aspect of you and this vortexual aspect of you, now you are allowing yourself to perceive this experience, this moment in time, through that broader vantage point. In other words, you get to see the world through the eyes of Source. You get to experience this moment. That's why you see the dime, which in many cases is like a needle in a haystack. That's why you're inspired to take this exit so that you can rendezvous with this experience, so that you can experience the joy of something that you've been asking for. Because really, friends, there isn't anything that you need to get done. There isn't anything that you're supposed to be doing. There isn't anything that if you leave it undone, there is angst in the heavens because it was left undone. We're not saying, oh, we hope this generation would get to that. There's nothing like that. This is all for your creative exploration and adventure and expansion, joyous expansion. So now, that brings us around to a very good... So now, express your question about the intimacy, or bring it around to what you're wanting to talk about. Sure. And isn't it easier now with the idea, with the understanding that you're having whatever experience you're having with the fullness of Source? So what you're seeing is more vivid. What you're smelling is more vivid. What you're tasting is more vivid. Mm-hmm. Everything that you're experiencing is more joyfully vivid. Because you can't hook up with Source and have it otherwise.
So in a vibrational environment of intimacy, I don't want to say that it's nothing more than seeing through the eyes of Source, but is that what I'm hearing you say?
Well, we understand your reluctance to use the word the nothing more, because what could be more
right.
than that total immersion in this moment in time?
So what goes into the creation of that vibrational environment of intimacy, whether it is with Source, your inner being, or another person? How do you begin that if you haven't started it, and then how do you continue it once you get that momentum going?
Well, the thing is, you can have all kinds of experiences with other people because you're meeting up on whatever mood or environment. We were calling them for a while, and it's still a good way of exploring it. These discs, you could be on the Henri disc, or you could be on the high-flying disc of clarity and enthusiasm, or you could be on a really low-flying disc of despair or disempowerment. But you're rendezvousing, because law of attraction is taking care of business, you're rendezvousing with others who are in the vibrational vicinity of that which you are. So when you talk about aligning with Source, when you talk about get on the high-flying disc and then, that's a much better way to approach life. In other words, nothing is more miserable than two people coming together for any kind of experience with neither of them being in vibrational alignment with who they are, and nothing is more delicious than two people or any coming together after individually being in vibrational alignment with who they really are.
So if you were going to create an intimacy disc, is there something that it would be more synonymous with than using that word? Maybe the word itself doesn't lend itself to something like that.
Well, let's explore this just a little bit, because this is the way that we would like you to see it. It will be easier for you. So you go to, let's say that you get tuned in to who you really are, and now you're in a library looking for books. Well, some are going to appeal to you and some are not, because of the frequency of where you are. It's just like looking for a movie on your movie channel. The way you feel is what causes you to choose what you choose. So it's getting on the high-flying disc and then choosing a conversation about money, or an experience about money, or a conversation about intimacy, or an experience of intimacy. In other words, we're talking about alignment and the intimacy is the and then part. You see, the reason your question is so fascinating, and the reason you're twirled up in it just a little bit, is because most people do look for the experience in order to affect the vibration. And so we're encouraging you to find the vibration that inspires the experience. That's why even we're out here on the leading edge, friends, and you're up to speed with us, so it's going to be fine. It's why we were, as we were talking with our friend just now, that when you have taken the time to find vibrational alignment, then the manifestations begin to come. And it's the reason that we wanted to point out that the ideas that are flowing, he was talking about running and meditating while he's running, and then ideas beginning to flow. And we wanted him to feel, and we know he already knows, and some of you do too, that those ideas that feel like they're coming out of nowhere, those ideas that you are claiming as my idea, they are your idea, but they are manifestations of a frequency that you've maintained for a little while. And so the idea about the experience of the intimacy that you may be looking for may be the first manifestational step toward that. The key is to get on that high-flying disc and then follow through with the inspiration that comes. And what we are saying is we would call then the experience of intimacy with anyone, whether it's an intellectual intimacy, whether it's a sexual intimacy, whatever the subject is, it's inspired. When it is inspired from alignment first, that is intimacy. It's a sort of mastermind experience where they're all in alignment. They're meditating while they fly. They're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And they are receiving an impulse about where to be. Esther would say, which one of them is in charge? Who is calling the shots here? And we want you to know that it's that mastermind, it's that broader perspective, it's that collective consciousness that you're wanting to come into alignment with, you see. And you've had that experience, especially in intimacy. In fact, that is a subject that most helps you to understand what alignment can be like, you see. Unless you're getting all twirled up in the physical aspects first. You've heard us say often you're looking for love in all the wrong places. And what we mean is we playfully say that to you is get into alignment and then follow the inspiration rather than standing in a place of less than what you really want to feel and saying, what could I do? Who could I call? What could I go do? Where could I go? What could I do that will bring me out of this funk? What could I do that will cheer me up? Oh, I think I'll go find someone to be intimate with. And we say, sometimes it works because it is distracting. And sometimes it works because elements are important. The same elements that are necessary for alignment in meditation are often relevant then. In other words, there's more breathing, there's more singular focus. You're usually not thinking about all kinds of other things. You often have a common purpose in mind. In other words, but if you're in alignment and then you feel the inspiration, there's so much more. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Really good.